Okay, we are recording. And hello, everybody. Welcome to our book study. I am Michelle Stuchel, Emerald Ambassador. This so exciting. I've been excited to say that. And I am really excited about this chapter, Chapter 9, Preparing Yourself to Lead. And if I was to title this chapter, I think I would have entitled it, if you want to grow your business, grow yourself. Because that's the whole essence of the chapter, isn't it? How can you grow? If you want your business to grow, you've got to grow and develop yourself. And that's what the whole chapter was about. Her 10 E's were areas of growth, right? And that is 100% of the truth. If you are stuck, if you want to grow, if you want to reach your goals, you've got to ask the Lord and examine where do you need to go and grow. And these areas that she lists out are the perfect starting block. Okay. And she says personal and professional growth is one of the greatest gifts this profession has provided me. And I remember Brittany saying, years ago, I remember hearing her say this, is that if you ask most of the diamonds in the company, sure, the money's great, but what they're really thankful for is who they've become along this journey. And I can say that without reservation. The person that I am today is it's not that my essence has changed, it's that I've grown. And I'm sorry, I need to somehow, this messenger, let me just cancel this out. Okay. It's that I've become more of who God has created me to be, and more of my true self, and more, growing into the destiny that God has for me. And that means everything. The growth, the resilience, the grit. Does it mean I've arrived? Dear Lord Jesus, no. I mean, if anything, the more I grow, the more I see I have so much more to grow. Okay, we will never arrive until you are face to face with Jesus. Honey, you're going to be on a personal growth journey. The day that you stop growing, just like John Maxwell says, is hopefully the day that you stop breathing. So as you continue to make growth your priority, your business will continue to grow. And I dare say that personal growth is part of your IPA, because if you are not reading, if you are not growing, if you are not doing the things to grow yourself, your business will not grow. You may have a nice welcome back business, but it's not going to give you the sustainable residual income and the team that you want. So personal growth is income producing activity. Okay, so let's talk about these areas, because I really want to hear from you ladies tonight. This is definitely not about me. Okay, number one, the areas of growth. She says basically, leave your ego by the door. Humility, right? And the way I like to think of this is I forgot to mute everybody. One of the best definitions of humility I've ever heard is, humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking of yourself less. And isn't that what we want? I mean, when we are stuck in fear, when we are worried about being pushy, when we are all of those things, right? We are basically just thinking of ourselves. We are not thinking about the gift that we have and the impact that we can have on somebody else's life. We're simply thinking about how we are going to be perceived and how this is going to affect me. Okay. Humility, another great definition, is agreeing with God that you are everything He's made you to be and you're nothing without Him. You're just agreeing with God. You're nothing without Him, but you're everything in Him. Thinking of yourself less. And one of the things she talks about in this humility point is, she says, I don't know if any of you caught this, the end of the chapter, comparison can destroy you. Okay. Now, let's just be real. Comparison is something that each and every one of us deal with. All of us. Each and every one of you will be tempted to compare yourself, and you will compare yourself. The question is, what will you do with that? Will you dwell on it and let it land in your mind? Or will you look, learn, evaluate, see what you can glean, celebrate that person, and then keep your eyes on your journey and move ahead. Okay. I mean, I could be tempted. I mean, April started this business a whole year after than I did and hit Emerald a whole month before I did. Terry will probably sneeze and become become Emerald, right? Everybody has their own journey, but that's not my journey. My journey is my journey. And if whatever you focus on expands. And so if you are focusing on somebody else and their journey, it's not doing anything for you. All it's doing is putting you in chains. I love it what she says. She says the death of contentment is comparison because it takes you captive. You become a slave. So your job is to fix your eyes on Jesus, learn where you need to grow and change, and then do it, right? So number one, humility. Okay, exude energy and excitement. We've dealt with this on our belief chapter, on our posture. Nobody wants to follow somebody who's like, plexus may be okay. Your belief is going to, be everything. You want to be excited about these products and about the opportunity. If you're not recruiting business builders, then chances are you're not excited about the opportunity, and you've got to build your belief in that area, right? And your enthusiasm is a catalyst for success. And this is why success begets success. You better believe Tracy and Rachel and Terry and all these people and Celise and all these people that had rank ups this month are excited about the opportunity. Guess what? They're going to continue to grow because they're excited about it. Brittany, so many, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody else. But you're excited because you've hit a goal, and that success will beget success. It's the law of momentum, and your excitement will show. You've got to let that out. And Charity, and all of you. Okay. An area of growth, encouragement. I loved this, and I love to encourage people. Like, I have the gift of encouragement, but even I learned from this. I'm like, how easy would it be for me to just write a note and put a $5 gift card in the mail to somebody? Your words of encouragement can do so much. And I have been the recipient of when people have sent me encouraging notes, I've saved them because it means so much to me. I think because I value encouragement so much. But John Maxwell says this, everybody has a sign over their head that says, please encourage me. And as you grow yourself as a leader, this is a skill, whether you have the natural inclination or not. This is a skill you have to develop because this is about sowing into your people and calling out their best and helping them be a cheerleader. What we do is simple, but it is hard, and they need a cheerleader. All of you should go read the post I just wrote about Brittany and how without her, I wouldn't have been here, but it's because she encouraged me, right? And I can guarantee you, all of you are here because somebody has encouraged you. Okay. Okay, number 4, engage your team. Thinking of ways to help your team shine. Great example. Just allowing your team to do things, not micromanaging, giving them roles and responsibilities, whether it's helping in a chat, even numbering off. Like Gia was awesome last month in numbering off in the Goldies chat. Celise did an event yesterday. Didn't need me at all. Didn't need me. Do you have any idea how excited I was? Not that I don't love events. I love events. I mean, part of me actually really wanted to be on that because I love events, but I was like, you go, girl. You go. She did an event for her level 1 for Katie Robertson and rocked it. Tracy Crosby did an event for our whole team that was awesome. Find ways to give tasks to your people, even if it's, hey, they learned something, they got really excited, or they're loving a product, have them go do a post or a live in the team page. Find ways to engage your team members and give them ownership. Okay. Alrighty, the next one. Well, I guess that was kind of that. Educate your team. Educate your team. You have, as a leader, you are going to realize that your people are at different spots, right? They need different points of growth. And it's your job through asking good questions to uncover those areas where they need to grow and then give them the tools to do so. Is it a lack of belief? Well, send them some videos on belief. Is it product knowledge? Have them research product ingredients and read info sheets. But your job as a leader is to discover where their areas of hang up are and then give them homework. Not just give them homework, but then follow up on the homework. Check in on them and see. And I'm talking not just for you and your team, but you as an individual person too. If you are finding that you are not talking about the opportunity, you need to watch every video on building your belief about the opportunity and attracting business builders, and then start putting those things into practice. If you're having trouble developing silvers, watch every video you can find on developing silvers and start putting those things into practice. Take notes, make it part of yourself. If you're worried about talking about MetaBurn, go research MetaBurn, okay? You are an entrepreneur, you are the owner of your business, and the responsibility lies on you to feed and to educate yourself. Alrighty, equipping your team, we just kind of did that too. We're talking about duplication. You're not a manager, your job is to raise up other leaders that duplicate, okay? We talked about encouragement, lifting up your team. Number 8, being ethical, going the distance, integrity. You can learn a skill. You can develop your belief. You cannot fake integrity. It's who you are. Now, we all make mistakes. I've made my share, and then some. And some quite recently. And by God's grace, I am where I am. But honor, integrity, character, the foundation of what I look for in anybody that I'm going to invest in. It's who you are. Get into the book of Proverbs, read Proverbs, do the right thing, be the right person, make wise choices. We're talking about truth, honesty, respect, values, okay? And simple things like not gossiping, not giving into temptation, not saying negative things, being who you've been called to be, right? Because here's the deal, you're gonna reap what you sow. Like if you see a rock star here's a very tangible experience. Maybe you've got somebody that you know is a rock star, but somebody else has been recruiting them. Should you go start recruiting them when somebody else has been recruiting them? It's one thing if you didn't know, right? It's another thing if you're intentionally stepping in on somebody else's territory. That's not cool, because you will reap what you sow. So integrity 100% of the time. Number 9, lead by example. Whatever you do duplicates. Just because I hit Emerald doesn't mean that I can stop recruiting. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team 100% of the time. Speed of the leader, speed of the team. Everything you do will duplicate. So if you're, and actually Romy in her book, Get Over Yourself, she says your people will do half as much as you do. So if you're recruiting 2 people, guess how many people your people will recruit? 1. What are you doing and how are you duplicating? Because everything you do will duplicate. If you're adding people to the team page, guess what? Your people will add people to the team page. If you're setting big goals, your people will set big goals. If you're doing 3-way calls, your people will do 3-way calls. So just examine when you see something off, just check, am I doing these things? And again, I've been there and I'm saying this to myself too. I'm certainly not perfect in these areas. Okay, lead by example. And I love what she says here. And if you guys can learn this early in your journey, it will be so fantastic. She says, work with those who deserve your support. Work with the willing and love the rest. Work with the willing and love the rest. So how do you identify those people that deserve your attention and time? Because your time is money. And not only is your time money, but we only have so many hours in a day. And if you are giving somebody time, it's time away from your family. Okay, I've got 3 kids. I've got a couple that really want my time and attention. I have a husband, you know, I've got a church, I've got other things to attend to. So every hour that I give somebody is an hour away from some of my other priorities. So how do you determine who gets your support? You watch their feet. You watch their actions. I don't care what people say. I want to see what people do. And when people have the action to back up their statements, they will earn my time. This isn't rude. This is wisdom. If you continue to invest in people whose actions are not where their mouth is, you will burn out and you will not get results. You can love them. You can cast vision. You can give touch points once a month or once every couple weeks, but do not invest in people that are not investing back. It's just not a wise investment. Where are you going to put your money? Are you going to put your money in a mutual fund that is only giving you 0% return? No. You want a high return, right? You put your money in a high return mutual fund. You don't put it in a low return fund. So you've got to be wise. Now, does that mean that people can't change? Absolutely not. That's why you can plant seeds and watch their actions, okay? Number 10, endure, endure, endure. The grass is never greener on the other side. There's ups and downs, but if you stay consistent and do not quit, you will get there. You've heard that 95% of the people that have been in network marketing for 10 years or longer have reached the top of their company. That's pretty phenomenal odds, isn't it? If you just stay the course and you learn and you are humble and you do the right things for 10 years, you will be making at least $500,000 a year. That's what that statistic means, that you will reach the top. That's pretty amazing. There have been ups and downs for me. What if I'd given up? What if the month that when Christina pushed for Senior Ruby and missed it by 3 points, what if she had given up? You just don't quit. Just take that out of your vocabulary. You make your line in the sand and you go. She says you can either give up when times are tough, assuming the business isn't working for you, or you can continue to learn. I love that. Your own life and leadership lessons and move ahead. You will find the success as long as you don't quit. Keep learning and growing and you will get there. So, enough from me. I want to know which one of these really spoke to you.
I think for me, it was number 9, lead by example. You know, whatever you do duplicates. So don't train on things you're unwilling to do. Ouch. That one really stepped on my toes big time. Because how easy is it to say to do things, but yet to not do them yourself? So.
Yeah, that's good, Tracy.
I like the equip your team portion because I think a lot of us right now, our teams are really starting to get some depth. So we're kind of right on that cusp of, and we're also starting to take over the reins to initiate the duplication and not be the manager and making sure everybody's doing what they need to be doing. And then part of, like you always say, it's always bouncing the ball back and not enabling your team, but rather equipping them properly. So I think that really spoke to me, especially just kind of where we're all at on our journey right now.
That's so good. That's exactly where you are. Way to go, Celise. I love that.
It's easy to get into that manager position.
Been there, done that.
I like the encouragement one, just because when you give somebody something to do and they do it, you're like, yay, good job, you know, I'm so happy for you, or, you know, just so that way they're encouraged to keep going. That way, like if they put a post up and say they get like 1 like or like only a few comments and they get discouraged, you're like, that's okay, you know, it takes 8 to 10 exposures, like you're just getting started, like just to make them feel better. So I think that's what sticks out most to me.
Encouragement is powerful. I mean, think about that word. The root en, n means to put in. You're putting in courage. You're putting in courage into somebody.
So this past month, I actually missed
Well, and in the
goal.
encouragement.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Nope.
I was just going to say this past month, I actually missed senior gold by 1 point.
Oh,
2:49 at 10:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so that was a posture that was really hard for a moment. And I had created leadership, my powerhouse people that were really working with me in the business part of it as a group message that week of just encouraging one another and we've got this and duplicating. And so they were all waiting to hear, like, did we reach the goal? And I took that night of just really like getting myself being disappointed, and then saying, I'm going to be disappointed for a moment. But my posture in this moment is what's going to carry them whenever there's disappointment. And how do you respond to that? And so really then took that next Monday morning to build them up. I sent them all handwritten cards with little gifts in it and said, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being with me on the journey. Sometimes we hit the goal and sometimes we don't. It doesn't mean we quit. Let's keep going. This month's going to be great. And just then reading this chapter, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, that you're good and that you know the process and you know how to do this. So encouraging one another on our teams is so important. And they do look at us as the leaders and how to posture themselves whenever maybe they don't hit the goal that they had that month. And then how do you do that and not give up?
I am so impressed with you right now. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that. That
Yeah.
leadership is phenomenal. Way to go, lady. And here's the deal. You may have missed it last month, but you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you're going. And the timing is in God's hand. And in my mind, girl, that was a diamond effort. Way
Thanks.
to go.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
well,
think, oh, somebody else gonna talk? No?
Go ahead, Charity.
I was gonna say, for me, it's the same, the encouragement. You know, they say you can learn so much from children. And my youngest, actually, we literally just got back in from a baseball scrimmage. And that is one thing that people notice about my youngest child is that he is as excited if one of his teammates hits a home run as he is if it's him hitting the home run. And he comes alive out there on the baseball field. And so from watching him, he's in travel ball, and from watching him, I've realized I need to be that. I need to be as excited for those around me. If they, get the joins and I don't, it doesn't matter. We're all on the same team. And so that is, our battle is always the hardest between our ears. And that is for sure my battle. But, it was just watching him out there play, I realized that I need to be that to my team. What he is when his teammate hits that home run, he's out there cheering just as hard and, doing cartwheels and whatever, because he's super excited for that person. And so that's the kind of mentality I want to have in my business. I want to be that cheerleader. And so anyway.
I love that, Charity. That's great. Rachel, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, and it was like perfect timing to go with encouragement, but I have not quit because people have encouraged me. So because of encouragement, I was able to do 10 and endure. So to me, the endure, that was a big one. Because I had the same goal for months and it never happened. So Yeah, that was a big one. And how she ends the chapter, you'll eventually find success as long as you don't quit and continue working. So that just stuck out the most to me.
Truth.
I want to say that the endurance or the endure is something that really resonated with me, because there's been many times that I've wanted to quit, and that is not really something that would normally come out of my mouth, but because I normally just, I guess you would say it's just not in me to quit, but I would kind of think, what have I gotten myself into? Because when I originally started the products, I just wanted to feel better. And then I said, well, I'm just going to, sign 3 people to help pay for my products. And then I used to work as a nurse. And then I was really sick with my lupus, and I had to come out of work. And for a long time, I was upset over that because I felt like I couldn't help anyone anymore. But then whenever I really dug deep and really saw what Plexus was about, I've been able to see that I am helping people. And that really kept me going and encouraged me that I am helping people, because it is so not about me, and it is about others. And that is what speaks to me. I love helping others in any way that I can. That's just how I work. So I would say the not quitting, because I'm not where I want to be, but I know I'm where God wants me to be. So I would say just the not quitting part has really, like, I'm just so glad I haven't quit, because I'm getting slowly where I want to be. And I know I'm growing in that process. So
You sure are, Jennifer. I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
So there's several things that it wasn't just, I guess, one area for me that kind of resonated, but numerous areas, and enduring is one of them. Building self-confidence in myself that I can do this, so that the business, the products have never been a struggle of belief for me ever, since I started. But the business side was a struggle for me initially. And I had a couple of calls with Christina this past month, just talking about, it is hard not to compare sometimes, but you never know somebody else's journey, how long it's taken them to get where they are, what struggles they've gone through, and all you're seeing is the success that they've had. And I'm fairly new to the business part of it, but it is hard not to compare sometimes. And I struggled with that a little bit, and had to take it from a more of an analyzing what they're doing to self-correct what I'm doing and what I need to be doing, if that makes sense. And building the belief in the business is a huge thing for me. That was my main goal this past month, was watching as many videos as I could on the business side and trying to find those business builders. I have two right now that are starting to share. So that's exciting. But, I had told Christina, I was like, I know I can't do this by myself. So working on the duplication part, being as excited about the business as I am about the products. And that's my main thing for this next month is showing that more in my posts, showing that more to my team, of how excited I am about the business side, what it's doing for us, for our family, how it can help other people, because it can. It can change lives even when you're not expecting it to, or even when you just want your products to get paid for. So that was one thing, for me. And then I think it kind of goes, maybe I already said that part. Just I guess the not giving up and being that positive light for my team, and letting them see how excited I am about how it's working in my life for my family. And sometimes I get overly excited and I share a little too much, because I'm so into it now. Where 3 months ago I was like,
treading water. Like, I don't know what I'm doing and where to go or how to get there. But I know I'm going to get there one day through, lots of prayer and God's help. I will get there. And I just need to do, I guess, more positive affirmations for myself each day. So I wake up with that positivity of, it will happen. I need to find those business builders, and I know it will happen if I continue to build the belief in myself and the business, and I show that excitement for everybody else.
It absolutely will, Brittany. It absolutely will. And thank you for being vulnerable about that. Can we just get this out on the table? Everybody struggles with comparison. Okay? If you think you don't, go have a little talk with Jesus, because everybody will struggle with comparison. But those thoughts will come. It's what you do with those thoughts, right? What are you going to do with those thoughts? So it's normal. It's natural. Those thoughts you'll get them at different points and at different areas of your life, not just about business, right? Oh, look at this person's house on Pinterest. They're always clean. They make homemade bread. Their kids don't eat pizza rolls. Whatever it is, you're always going to be tempted to compare yourself, but that's not you. Comparison will put you in chains, and keep your eyes on Jesus and run your race and be the best you, because guess what? The world doesn't need another Michelle. The world doesn't need another Rachel. The world doesn't need another Christina or Brittany. The world needs Stephanie. The world needs Pamela. The world needs Sarah and Lucy and Becky and everybody on here. And there are people that are desperately waiting for you, that God has appointed for you to reach. And your journey is your journey, So, I'm preaching to myself, right? But once we start, and you know what the cure for that is? You know what the cure for comparison is? Thankfulness. Be thankful, because you have something to be thankful for. And that's not waiting for a feeling. Okay, hashtag preaching to myself. God, thank you for my team. God, thank you. And they talked about this. Amber Miller actually talked about this at Ruby Retreat. She said, do you get into your back office and just see a bunch of deadbeat points and that people that are only ordering 95 PV and will never share? Or are you thankful for the people that God has given you? Are you thankful for the product testimony that you have? Are you thankful for your team? Are you thankful that your kids have pizza rolls to eat? Start being thankful. And guess what? Miracles will start to happen. They really will. They really will. Okay, it's 9:34. So does anybody else have anything burning on their hearts before I give you your homework? Okay, so what I want you to do is, for the next 5 minutes, I want you to think about this. Think about that list, flip through your books, and write down the top 1 or 2 areas that you feel like you want to work on, okay? And then I want you to share that with your sponsor, so you have some accountability. Because here's the deal. If we just read this book and we don't apply it, you've gained nothing. The magic comes in when you allow this to change you, right? So look over this list. And I have things to improve on. Like, we all have things to improve on, right? And think about like the 2 areas that you want to really focus on in this next season, and then share that with your upline so she can help encourage you and support you and help you in your journey. Cool. Okay. And for those of you that haven't scheduled an event yet, do it by the end of June. It will really help. All righty, girls. Thanks for a great evening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.